Well, hello folks out there in YouTube land. Got a big show lined up for you. Let's get right on into it. All right, let's pull up that screen. On Nio has jumped quite a bit today. It's nice to see. I think it's jumped ahead of the launch of the ES7. That's a new vehicle they're getting ready to launch, so that's pretty exciting. And like I said, we've had a big jump today, so let's talk about Nio. All right, yesterday I put out a video about 5 stocks that I'm buying during this crash, and yesterday I bought Nio down at, I think it was in the low 16, might have been high 15, I can't remember exactly, but when I put that video out, some people got mad at me and said, oh, you know, it's going to keep going down and, you know, you shouldn't be pumping this stock. First of all, I don't pump stocks. That when I talk about Nio, I bring up the good and the bad, you know, so that's not pumping. But everybody's got their opinion. But when I put out that video, I did get some comments that were kind of like this.
How dare you?
Yeah, even Greta was pissed off at me. But anyway, let's see what it's doing right now. Yeah, it's bounced back nicely. It's up 15% today. So, you know, that drop had everything to do with macro issues and the market tanking over inflation and the consumer sentiment. And here's a nice number for you. Wholesale prices rose 10.8% in May, near a record annual pace. So like I've been saying, this inflation or CPI, whatever, is a bunch of crap. The real number is about 12 to 15%, because understand, when wholesale prices go up, they've got to pass that along, okay? And then on top of it, there has to be a little bit of profit on top of their cost. So 12 to 15 is what it really is, and that pretty well proves it to me. Now, they're not going to come out and agree with that, but 12 to 15 is what it really is. They're saying 8.6, and like I said, we haven't seen it max out yet. And that has everything to do with the Michigan consumer sentiment, which Wall Street and your big traders like to look at, and it's down at the lowest level in the history of this chart, 50 years. So, you know, we've never seen the American people this unhappy about buying and selling, and et cetera. They're just pissed. That's all there is to it. And this obviously is weighing on the market big time.
Whoa. I think I just figured something out, Beavis.
What?
This sucks.
Yeah, me.
Yep, I think Beavis has summed it up perfectly. This sucks. But anyway, let's talk about Nio, because like I said, it's had a nice run today. And this article talks about why it jumped. It says investors are buying the dip in Nio, which ahead of an important product launch. I think it's up 16% of the time of this. It says they'll hold their product launch event tomorrow for the new ES7 SUV. And they released a teaser video, which I'm going to play for you here in just a second. It says Nio has been postponing ES7's launch since April amid the Rona. And the ES7 will be Nio's 6th EV in a mid to large size 5-seater. And this is a slightly more expensive model than their cheapest one. It says adding a more expensive model, therefore, could also help Nio bump its average selling price in the coming quarters, provided the new model receives a warm reception. And I would think it would. It's going to have some new stuff on it. And here's that teaser video. And it did show their LiDAR technology, which I think is going to be fantastic. If you know the difference between LiDAR and then the cameras, LiDAR can see through bad weather. It can see through fog and rain and all that just as well as it would see as a camera would in the middle of the day. So that's why I really like LiDAR long term. The military uses it for those obvious reasons because it's life and death for them. So, you know, having that on a car is really cool. And I think that's going to help them a lot with autonomous driving, which that's software as a service, very profitable. And if you're wondering why Nio's not making money right now, it's because they're having to spend a ton of money on R&D, not only these new product launches, which you've got to do, and they're going to come out with a mid-price sub-brand. So there's a lot of R&D in that. And then on top of that, you know, to get autonomous driving up and running, you got to spend a ton of money. But understand, you're looking at a 70, 80% profit margin on software as a service. So that's going to be super profitable. And if you don't think it is, ask Tesla. It's worked out for them. They charge $7,000, $8,000 a pop for that. And it's extremely profitable part of their business. That's why their margins are better than any other car company in the world. And when we look at their recent deliveries, get my head out of the way here. As you can see, it was starting to go pretty good in March again. And then the Rona and the stupid shutdowns in China, which make absolutely no sense. And that's why this angry guy right here is sitting on this. We had Chucky in February because they were shut down for 2 weeks working on their lines and getting ready for the ET7. And realized we have the ET5 coming out in September, which is pretty exciting. That's coming out of Nio Park, and that's going to be a middle-of-the-road premium vehicle at about $50,000 a pop, and I think it's going to be a home run. But April did get smacked by the shutdowns, and May was a little better, which surprised me. I thought it was going to be worse. But again, the shutdowns, and we're still facing some shutdowns in Shanghai. I thought we were done with it, but it looks like they're bringing some of it back, so which is just so foolish.
Thank you for playing, should we or should we not? Follow the advice of the galactically stupid!
Yeah, I'm not happy about it. I don't think it makes any sense. The rest of the world has dealt with this newest version of the Roni Rona, and like I said, it passed through our country in a month or two, 6 to 8 weeks, and was pretty much done. And it's going to do what it's going to do. You're not going to be able to shut your way down out of this newest version. It spreads too fast. It's like a really bad cold. And some people it's way worse than that, and some people it's not even a blip. But you can't stop it. You know, it's imposterous. So needless to say, I think it's a fool's errand they're on, and they're just going to keep chasing their tail. Hopefully they'll come around to their proper way of thinking at some point. The other big issue that you have to be concerned about is the possible delisting. And that's a real problem. And that has to do with this China crackdown, which they've really sort of backed off on. And I think we're going to maybe be okay on that. We'll see. But that delisting is a real concern. So you have to keep that in mind with this stock. So, you know, they're saying the right things about allowing auditing, which is, look, there is nothing wrong with auditing a freaking company. Let them look at your books. Every company in the world has to do it. It's not a big deal. It's their freaking balance sheet, profit and loss statements, and internal documents that are not unbelievably secretive. It's not that big a deal, especially selling cars. So like I said, I think eventually they'll come around because a country doesn't get to the second largest economy in the world by screwing over their companies and allowing them to get delisted. So I think they'll come around, but we'll see. But you do need to keep those two things in mind. And like I say, it's nice to see it bumping up 16% today, back up to 1850. I think over time, if we can get past those two big issues, this thing will pop back up to 34 pretty easily. City's calling for an $87 price target by next year. That seems high to me, given the circumstances. Without these circumstances, I don't think it's high, but we'll see how this plays out. But I'm pretty comfortable buying under 18. Definitely, like I said, I was buying at 16 yesterday. I think that's where I don't think I got it under 16. I think I was like 1603. All right, folks, and that's Nio today. I'm glad to see a big jump, and that's nice in front of this launch that they're getting ready to have. And there's a lot of exciting things going on with Nio. There are some negatives. Keep that in mind. If you like this content, be sure to hit that like button. Leave me a comment if you want, however you feel about it. Just go ahead and comment about it. I try to read everything I can, and I try to respond if I can. And I hope you did like the content, and we'll see you next time on Mr. Frugal Investor.